really excited for today's video because I've been wanting to make it for a while, but this is my top 5 favorite albums. So I have copies of all of these albums, so I'm gonna like hold it up while I'm doing that, like talking about them. So I also have honorable mentions that I'll name later. But yeah, so let's get started. So my 5th favorite album is Danger Days by MCR. I really like this album. It's my favorite MCR album. I don't think it's like a popular album to be someone's favorite, but I really like it. I really like it. I have a tattoo for it. I think it's a really fun album. It's one of my favorite vinyls to play when I'm listening to vinyls. My favorite song on the album probably have to be Save Yourself, I'll Hold Them Back. I just really like it. Or The Kids From Yesterday. I also really like The Kids From Yesterday. But yeah, that's my favorite album, or my favorite MCR album, and it's my 5th favorite album overall. So my 4th favorite album is Vessel by 21 Pilots. This is a very important album to me. The only reason it's not ranked higher is because I don't listen to 21 Pilots very often anymore, but when I'm having a really hard time, this album is one of the albums I turn to. My favorite song would probably have to be Holding On To You, I think. It's really hard to pick because all the albums on this song are great, but that's probably one of my favorites. I also really like Trees and Truce, but I can say that for every song on the album. I really like this album. I have it on vinyl and a CD, and I love having multiple copies of this album. Owning both of these makes me so happy. So, yep, that's my 4th favorite album, Vessel. So my 3rd favorite album is You Are Okay by The Maine. They're also probably my favorite band next to Fall Out Boy. But I only have it on CD. I'd love to get the vinyl, but the vinyl's kind of hard to find. This is also a very important album to me. It's helped me through a lot of really hard times in my life, so I really recommend it for like anyone going through mental health struggles. It's a very nice album for, you know, that, I guess. My favorite song would probably have to be My Best Habit or Numb Without You. These are some of their best live songs, honestly, especially Numb Without You and Slip the Noose. Some of my favorite memories is seeing those songs live played by this band. And if you haven't checked out this band, you really should. I love The Maine. You should check them out. But yeah, so this is my 3rd favorite album, and yes, cool. So my 2nd favorite album is Reputation by Taylor Swift. I haven't been like a full-on, full-fledged Taylor Swift fan for very long, and she's already taken the 2nd spot on my top 5 favorite album list, so you know, that's something. That says something. This is my favorite album of hers. I really like this album. It's one of my favorites to play. I finally have it on some physical form. I have it on vinyl, and it sounds so good on vinyl and the stereo. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's just really good. I love watching the live show on Netflix. It's probably one of my favorite things to watch. If you're like new to Taylor, I recommend watching the Netflix special, Reputation Stadium Tour. It's so good. Like, they're really like hard hitting. I don't know how to explain it. Really dynamic. I think that's the right word to use. I'm not sure. I'm not good at describing music, but my favorite song is probably Ready For It. It just starts the album out with a bang. It's so good and sounds so nice when you get to play it through like good speakers and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's my 2nd favorite album. So my 1st favorite album, the moment you've all been waiting for, but is Fully Ado by Fall Out Boy. It's kind of obvious if you watch my tattoo tour video because I have a tattoo, like 2 tattoos from this album. I have the album art and I have a lyric. But yeah, this is my favorite album. It's been my favorite album since I was in high school. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a really good album. It's kind of like wasn't well like received when it first came out, but it's something that the fandom has grown to love, and it's probably like a underrated album of the band. I have it on CD and on vinyl. This was my first vinyl I ever got, so I wanted to get my favorite album when I was deciding to collect vinyls, so that's why I got it first. It's really cool. This is my tattoo. Oh, I almost dropped them. This is my tattoo. Yeah, I really like this album. My favorite song is probably Disloyal Order of Water Buffaloes. That's the tattoo I have is from that song. And I remember, like, I'd heard the singles from this album, you know, like I Don't Care and things like that. But I hadn't, like, played the album in full yet. When I first turned it on and heard that song heard Disloyal Order for the first time, like, I cannot describe that feeling, and I wish I could experience that again with this album because it's just so good. And it's so special to me. I got to hear Disloyal Order live at my first show ever, which was also a Fall Out Boy show. It was my first concert, and I will never forget that moment. And I'm seeing them again soon, so I really hope they play it again. I get to hear it again on this tour. So yes, that's my favorite album. So thank you for watching this segment. Now we'll get into the honorable mentions, which I'll try to make it quicker, but this has already been a quick video anyway. But there's a lot of honorable mentions because it was so hard to pick like my top 5 favorite albums. So thank you for watching, but it's not over yet. So one of the honorable mentions, I thought I would start with the album I have the most copies of ever, is the Blue Album by Weezer. I put this on honorable mentions because I don't listen to Weezer that often. I need to listen to more Weezer, to be honest. And it's kind of a basic favorite Weezer album to have. It's kind of a meme now too, so it's like, I know some people are tired of like hearing about it, but I really like it, and I have fond memories of this album because I got to see Weezer live at Hella Mega Tour, and it was the second vinyl I ever bought, and then my dad gave me this cassette tape when he was decluttering. It was around the time of Hella Mega Tour. He was like, oh, you're gonna go see Weezer, hey, have this, and he gave me this cassette tape. So, and then eventually I got the CD for Christmas, and now I have it in 3 different forms. And it's just really funny to me. And it is a good album, I really like it, but like I said, I kind of was rating these based on how much I listen to it, but also like emotional attachment. And I'm very emotionally attached to it, but I don't listen to it too much anymore, so that's why it's on honorable mentions. Another honorable mention is Mania by Fall Out Boy. I know it's not like a popular album of theirs, but this is the era that was taking place when I got into the fandom and got into the band, and it's such a special album to me. Mania Tour is the tour I attended as my first concert, and I just really like this album. I enjoy it. It brings comfort to me like a lot of the honorable mentions do, and like a lot of music does, really. And I think another thing that like really I'm really attached to this album is because I was recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I know Pete Wentz's bipolar disorder kind of informed this album and a lot of his music. So knowing this is about the highs and lows of being bipolar and having experienced that myself, it is a really, really important album to me. Even before I got diagnosed with bipolar, I was experiencing lots of highs and lows of just dealing with my mental health issues, and it still, you know, brought some solace to that, if that's the right word to use. It brought me comfort in that, knowing it was about that. So that's why it's honorable mention on here, because it's one of the most important albums to me. It just didn't make the list because I was trying to include, I wasn't going to put multiple albums from the same artist on the list. So honorable mention, Mania. The last honorable mention is American Candy by The Maine. This is the first album that got me into the band, and it's just so special to me because of that, because it's, you know, one of my favorite bands, and this is the album that started it all for me. I remember in 2019 my sister showed me the song American Candy, and for a while I was like, I'm not going to listen to this band or get emotionally involved, I'm just going to listen to this one song, but then it turned into them being like one of my favorite bands. So the album that started it all, so that's why it's really important to me. And my favorite song would probably have to be 24 Floors or Diet Soda Society. I didn't name favorite songs for the other honorable mentions, but I thought I'd name it for this. And of course American Candy, one of the best songs on the album in my opinion. This is such a good album. But yeah, so honorable mention, American Candy. So those were some of my favorite albums. This is a really fun video to make between like, I had to like sit down and think it through, you know, like recollect my thoughts and then list them and then, you know, pull out all my different like copies of them. It was fun to like look through all of that and do that, so this was really nice. I hope you enjoyed, and tell me some of your favorite albums in the comments. So thanks for watching and be safe.